What is up, everybody? Solomon here. I hope you guys are all having a great Tuesday. All right, we have a decent amount of news today, but I kind of wanted to do this in a little bit of a different manner here and present a little bit of a timeline that should hopefully allow everybody that's going to watch this video to realize that you shouldn't watch what these institutions are saying, that you should watch what they're doing. And these banking institutions can talk all the rhetoric that they want to about not utilizing digital assets and cryptocurrency, when in fact, if you pay attention to what's actually happening, that's certainly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be custodying digital assets, cryptocurrency. They're going to be utilizing them for utility, and they're certainly going to be capitalizing off of this new asset class by any means possible. And once this is all said and done, we will still be the 1%. And they will market digital assets and cryptocurrency to the 99% who thought we were crazy, like it is the greatest invention, the greatest thing that's ever happened. And, you know, I think that we're in this space at the exact right time. If you see any scam ads on this video, please do not participate in those. First and foremost, I did want to say that Revolut announced that they were going to support Flare's upcoming Spark one-to-one or Spark allocation for XRP holders, I should say. And, you know, I don't use this platform. Apparently, you can't transfer on or off. I am not as familiar with it, but I do know that Revolut is obviously a very large platform. So this is still big news. Maybe some of you do hold XRP on Revolut's platform. So your Spark will be presented to you on there. You will be able to participate. All right, now I want to get into the meat of this video here. Let's go back to July, okay? This is Standard Chartered to launch institutional cryptocurrency custody solution. And I believe, yep, SC Ventures participated in the oversubscribed Series A for market infrastructure provider Metaco, or Metaco, however you want to pronounce it. This is part of this announcement about Standard Chartered launching an institutional cryptocurrency custody solution. Okay, now let's fast forward to today. Standard Chartered Bank to launch crypto trading for institutional investors. This is presented by NASDAQ. This is giant. We know how big Standard Chartered is, right? So now they're obviously, we're going to custody. What's the next step? They're going to capitalize on it, and they're going to support trading from an institutional standpoint for their investors. So this is London. Standard Chartered Bank has gathered a group of crypto exchanges for a new digital asset trading platform tailored to the institutional market, according to two sources familiar with the plan. Standard Chartered's crypto trading group comprises 5 of the biggest over-the-counter traders and 4 exchanges, and will include an Ethereum-based settlement token, a well-placed source told CoinDesk. Firms involved in the custody or trading project include LMAX and ErisX. Oh, look, we see custody provider Metaco again, or Metaco, however you want to pronounce it, in which Standard Chartered has invested in UK-based trading technology provider Cobalt. Now, what's interesting about Standard Chartered, they obviously are a Ripple partner. Standard Chartered sits, I believe, still on the Global Payment Steering Group at Ripple, talking about real-time cross-border payments utilizing RippleNet. And if you weren't aware as well, Ant Financial was tied into this Access, AXESS platform through Standard Chartered. Access platform just so happens to Standard Chartered acts as a provider to RippleNet through this platform as well. But remember that Metaco group, okay? Because this ties in with today as well. Spain's second largest bank will soon launch crypto services, state sources. This is from Yahoo Finance. This is BBVA. BBVA, the second largest bank in Spain with about $840 billion in assets, is poised to enter the cryptocurrency trading and custody space, according to 2 people familiar with the plans. Interesting. You know, because a couple of years ago, they weren't going to touch crypto or digital assets. Now they are. And look, they are also utilizing Metaco or Metaco, however you want to pronounce it. BBVA began working on integrating the Silo custody platform built by core banking software provider Avaloq. Avaloq is huge. They provide banking. Hold on. They provide some of the banking software for multiple banks. Here, let's look up Avaloq real quick just so you know. Not even getting too deep into this. You can definitely deep dive Avaloq with their partnerships in blockchain. Avaloq is a Swiss company that develops and provides software for core banking. The software system Avaloq Banking Suite is used by more than 140 banks worldwide. So this is Metaco again, very much so tied into this. Now, if you look into Metaco here, or Metaco, however you want to pronounce them, the Institutional Digital Asset Operating System, they just released new videos today as well, over the past couple of days, I should say. The Foundation for Safer Digital Assets. Barely any people have watched these, 12 views. You know, there's not a ton in here, but this is talking about the hype cycle of innovation. Digital assets become mainstream, 2020 and onward. Wow, we were right, you know, about everything that's happening. They're utilizing all of these platforms for custody. They're obviously going to be utilizing whatever they need to utilize to offer trading to their investors and their clients. This is like as plain as day what's going on. This market at the end of 2017, the very beginning of 2018, in my opinion, got out of control from the legacy standpoint, and now they have obviously controlled it and acquired what they need to acquire, and they're going to start rolling this stuff out to the mass populace. I'm glad we've been here for a couple of years. Pay attention to that, hot and cold, right? Because that's going to play into some of these digital assets I'll show you in a second. Not just about trading, right? Payments, tokenization, across the board, DeFi, decentralized finance. And, you know, they've got other videos on this YouTube as well. This is the Silo platform. Now, if I go back to right here, remember it said in that video, hot to cold storage, right? Well, let's look at what digital assets are going to be supporting. More than 100 coins supported. Bitcoin, Bitcoin alts, Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, ERC20 tokens, Ripple, which should say XRP, and many others. So XRP is very much so tied in with this. Hot, warm, and cold wallet configurations, flexible authorization protocols, flexible custody, support for billions of wallets and addresses. This is giant, ladies and gentlemen, what they are going to be rolling out to everybody across the board here. You know, I don't think that we have much time left before this all explodes and just goes crazy. What crazy is defined as, you can do your own research and figure out what you think valuations could potentially go to. But this is very much so going to be mainstream adoption across the board, but it starts slow. It starts with the crazy people who believe in something, who see in something. And I'm not saying crazy in the next month. I'm saying, you know, over this decade, 100%, and way before the end of this decade, many people's lives are going to be changed completely. I would imagine that probably happens more sooner than later, probably within the next year or two. But, you know, mainstream and full-on adoption across the board here, that's going to be an ongoing process. And I think that they have all these initiatives aligned with 2025, 2030. Certainly there's going to be rollouts in between that or before that time, but this is just absolutely giant. So we've got Standard Chartered utilizing Metaco for custody solutions and then rolling out a trading platform. We've got BBVA doing the same thing. And it's not just about trading, it's about tokenization, it's about everything that we've been talking about forever. BBVA completes its first real-time international money transfer between Europe and Mexico with Ripple. This is 2017. 2018, Ripple was 81% cheaper than your bank as BBVA Bank comes on board. This is... who stated this? The head of digital transformation at BBVA. A Ripple costs 81% less than the correspondent banking network used for decades to send global payments. However, with Ripple, companies can also track their payments. BBVA builds a global payment platform for the future, 27th of May, 2019. The platform developed by BBVA connects to Visa and MasterCard directly. from each country's application and provides the data required to process digital transactions from a smartphone. BBVA has used token technology to develop its global platform that integrates the activation of mobile payments. That's 2019. 2020, what is payment tokenization from BBVA? Do you see a trend here? What's happening? They are rolling this out 100% across the board. It's amazing to me that most people don't see what's going on. This is giant as well. I believe that the SIX Group, which I think is the Swiss Stock Exchange, offered an exchange-traded product of XRP. I think this was like last year, I think, actually. But we all know how tied in with SBI, XRP, and Ripple are. This is SIX and SBI Digital Asset Holdings announce plans for Singapore-based joint exchange venture. This was just today. Joint venture set up to build the preeminent regional liquidity hub for institutional digital assets in Singapore as part of Global Liquidity Network. Working towards a joint venture to drive institutional digital asset liquidity through a Singapore-based digital issuance platform. We know that Singapore is far further ahead than many of the other countries in the world as far as a regulatory standpoint on digital assets. Exchange and CSD venue that is set to go live by 2022, subject to regulatory approvals from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. MAS is also a Ripple partner. The contemplated joint venture announced by SBI and SIX is set to directly target the growing demand for public and private institutional digital assets, including regulated digital asset securities and cryptocurrency assets, The venture will market directly to regulated institutional clients, utilizing technologies from both companies to provide institutional-grade services, including issuing, listing, trading, CSD infrastructure, and custody of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Just on a sidebar here, we recently saw that Tata Consultancy Services also, was going to be custodying digital assets, and then like a month later, what happened? They're going to be saying that their custody platform supports settlement and payments via digital assets. Do you notice a trend? It will leverage the extensive networks of SIX Digital Exchange in Switzerland and Europe and SBI in the Asian marketplace, as well as their joint expertise in facilitating institutional clients' needs. I believe Yoshitaka Kitao had a quote in here. We are delighted to combine forces with SDX. This is an important step in building the necessary global infrastructure for widespread institutional adoption of digital assets. Together with SDX strength in Switzerland and our planned digital asset exchange in Osaka, this venture will establish a powerful institutional corridor between Europe and Asia. Today's news, everybody should just validate even more so why you're in this space, why you've been here, why you've held through a bear market for a few years now, because we've been talking about it all the time. These institutional players have been buying over the counter nonstop during this entire bear market. And you don't think that they could potentially have an effect on price, because we know every market is manipulated, but come on. I mean, this market, XRP is still at right now, 57, 58 cents right now, because we had a dip today in the market, which is going to be laughable. All these prices are going to be laughable in a few years. And if you're willing to hold past a few years, imagine holding the assets that survive a decade, that survive 2 decades, how you'll be having your grandkids ask you, Pappy, how did you know? Well, because you were paying attention this whole time, or Grandma, how did you know? It's ridiculous. It's right there in front of our faces. And this is just another day that we have validation across the board here. They're going to be utilizing digital assets. They're going to be custodying digital assets. 2 or 3 years ago, they would have said that we were crazy to even state this. And now they're announcing, they're literally telling you what's coming. You know how much money is going to flow into this space once everything actually goes live. Once utility goes live, once everybody that has the option to utilize digital assets, because once they have that option and they just say for shits and giggles, oh, I'm going to use this, blah, blah, blah. Number one, they may not even know they're using it. It may be used anyways without them even knowing, because it's going to be quicker and cheaper for banks to use it. But number two, if they choose to use it, what happens whenever somebody does something and uses something for the first time and it has more utility, it's quicker, it's cheaper, it has more transparency than anything they've ever been used to, ever. They're going to obviously use it across the board every time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, Standard Chartered huge, SIX and SBI huge, BBVA huge. Revolut supporting the Spark allocation, also huge in my opinion. I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you happen to be. If there is news tomorrow, I will present it. I'm out of breath. Later.